What's going on, YouTube? Claykeysalt here, and it's another week, which means another banner in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and we need to review that son of a bitch. So here we go. We have a global exclusive to talk about, and two other units overall. You know, we had a 3-star base, a 4-star base, and a 5-star base that we're accustomed to, so I'm going to give you the information I can on these units. Let's talk about the 3-star base first. We have Shara. Physical damage dealer, looks really nice, very nice looking unit. 3-star base going to 5-star. TM is called Successor, and we're going to give this the high tier ranking. It's middle to high tier. I didn't want to rate it too low because it actually is pretty good, but there are things better out there to optimize the units for what you want them to do. The TM is a materia giving you HP and attack 15%, along with the fire resist 20%, which is really nice if you need to go into a battle and you don't want to be glass cannon, you're against a fire mob, and this could be very helpful in the future. So I'm going to give it the mid to high tier. I really try to go mid here because you might not farm it for a little bit if you have better. But again, it's a 3-star base, and if you guys don't have better, it's actually pretty damn good. So that's why I went ahead and went with high tier. Let's talk about the pros of our 3-star base here. Has cheer, can fire chain, and has a good TM. But that's about it. Again, you know, not the best because again, we go from 3-star to 5-star, and in this meta, it's just not going to take a team spot. Let's look at the cons. 5-star restrictions, again, just like we just talked about, and a weak ability list. There's just not a lot there. Fire is tagged to almost all the abilities, and so if a fire resist mob does show up, Shara is just not going to be able to hold it down. So let's talk about the ranking, and it's going to be called, Why Did the Cool Looking Units Suck? I mean, how many times in this game we saw a unit, you're like, damn, bro, that looks good, and then they suck. And Shara has a really good TM, so that's good for us, but not really going to fit the bill on a physical damage dealing team. Next up is our 4-star base going up to 6-star, and that is Shine, and boy does she look awesome. I was talking to Poker in my, one of my people in my Twitch chat called Poker. Poker says that Shine is a spy. She looks like a goddamn superhero. Come on, man. I'm gonna go with superhero. Physical damage dealing superhero. TM is called Quick Assault, and this one's gonna get the first ever what the fuck, oh my god tier. This thing is amazing. Attack 30%, and then on top of that, so that's attack 30%. Remember Maxwell's TM? We had to get Maxwell from the event and farm it out. But now we have Quick Assault, and yes, it should be stacking. There's nothing to stop it. So 30% attack right off the bat, and then you have, I think, a 10% chance to evade physical damage dealing things that happen to you, physical attacks. So 10% chance to evade plus 30% attack. Who doesn't want that? That's going to be the new meta tier. That's going to be the new thing you're going to be throwing on a lot of people. Very good TM. Going to last us a really long time, guys. And I know every week it seems like I'm like, meta. And we were talking about that in my Discord, but still, it's the truth, and I have to tell you guys how I actually feel. Let's talk about Shine as an actual unit, and I think a lot of us are going to vary on this, so I'm going to give you my point of view. Pros, can break defenses. Pretty good. And dark resist. So she's going to be able to break the defense and the dark resist down of an opponent. Hard-hitting dark attacks. So she's going to be able to take advantage of the dark resist going down. Pretty nice. Chance to negate physical, and has a less of a chance of being targeted, which is pretty cool. So that's going to add to her kit as being like she can negate the physical damage if she would take it, and she's also going to be able to have 50% chance of just not being targeted, period, which means with a tank provoking, I just think her chances of being targeted are kind of abysmal anyway. Cons here. We have bad equipment choices. Can't really equip her with a lot of stuff. Going to be hard to make her shine there. No pun intended, damn it. Dark damage mostly, and no good AoE moves to look at, so strictly a single target, and a lot of dark applied to that. So if a dark boss is dark resist, or your team's just not really chaining with dark, she kind of just sits alone and tries to do what she can to make your team better. So without further ado, the ranking is going to be the hero we needed and deserved. That's right, it's an actually okay unit. Mid-tier, I'd say. I'd say around Bart's COD level. Brings a little bit of breaking to our kit also. But at the same time, she brings a badass TM, the first ever OMG BBQ what the fuck TM tier. And it's amazing, and you guys should definitely be looking for some of her. And now, without further ado, the main event. 5-star base, big dick daddy going to 6-star. It's Olive. And boy, does she look awesome. I think she looks amazing. She's got some nerd goggles on her head. She looks like Tristana from League of Legends, if you guys have ever seen her. And apparently there's another gacha game she looks kind of similar to. Character, somebody put it in my comments. I can't remember who it was. But awesome physical damage dealer. Cannoneer is what her job is. And we'll talk about the TM in Sparky. 125 plus attack and a lightning elemental gun. On top of the fact that it also brings double hand attached to it. So this is going to be really great. Single hand gun, which is really weird because that gun's really big. The thing about this TM, guys, it's going to be meta tier. However, it's very specific of where it's going to go. I think you're either putting this gun onto Olive, which is really strong on, or you could throw 2 of these on lightning and she becomes a boss. And now I've been talking to this with Pro from my Twitch chat, Sketch, and my Discord, a bunch of people, and this is going to make lightning a lot better. The reason being is she does have the ability that lowers down the lightning resist, and then she chains really well. And if her weapons have lightning on them already, that's just going to be a big plus for her. So that's going to make her move up quite a bit. So there are 2 reasons you would want this TM, one for Olive, and then you'd want to put them on lightning. However, lightning's not really going to be able to take advantage of the double hand on it, but that's okay. That doesn't really matter at this point. Our first pro up for Olive is can obtain a super high attack stat through passives. The way she's going to work is incredible. Not only does she already have a kind of okay attack stat to begin with, she has a 50% weapon mastery with guns, and then she also, just to talk about this right here, she does 50% more damage to machines, so she has machine killer, which is really awesome. So let's take her 50% gun mastery, put that in our pockets. She also has a type of double hand, but it's 75% instead of 50%. So anything that has a flat attack stat on it, this will not apply to percentages. It's going in your equipment, all of it, anything on your equipment, it's going to add 75% of that to your in total. It's going to like 75% every single one of them. So let's take that. Then we're going to add Sparky, which is going to give her double hand, which is 50% from her weapon, and that's going to stack on top of that. And then let's go ahead and look at her actually putting double hand on her from Bart's. That's going to make her insane. Her attack stat, I think, is around 1,100. After everything is done, you stat pot her out, and you get her best in slot. Now, you can't, double hand isn't stacked in global, so you can't stack it up in the materia slot, but getting it from different sources is going to work out for you, which I think is awesome. So that's our first pro. Next, you can just AoE blind. She has an AoE attack that does some damage and also has a 50% chance to blind. And I know a lot of you guys out there playing, that blind can be very important in some of the fights you guys need, so that's going to be a perk. Also, she can break defense, lightning, and fire resist, and that defense and lightning break is 50%, baby. That's right, breaks defense by 50% and lightning resist. Why is that important? She can chain, not chain well, but she can go well with lightning, doing her lightning burst, doing lightning chaining, things like that, or Sparky equipped to her is going to have the lightning aspect on it, so you're going to break down the lightning resist, and then Sparky's going to go ahead and hit him pretty hard. Moving on to some more pros, because there's so many to talk about. She has an insane limit burst. It's going to hit 5 times, and it has a huge multiplier on it, guys. It is a huge hitting attack. I cannot stress this enough. It's very, very good. It's like a barrage, but really, really strong. It hits 5 times, random enemies, and it's going to do a lot of damage, guys. So on top of that, to complement the limit burst, she gains limit burst by 200%, way faster than other units. So she has that innately. So that's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to use that limit burst more often, and it is really good. She has 100% resist to paralyze and confuse, which is awesome. And then she has this really cool ability called Mortar Beacon. Essentially, after the 3rd turn, she's going to do an AoE 500% attack to every physical attack to everything. So that's after the 3rd turn. She only does it 1 time in a battle, but that thing is amazing, guys. It hits so hard. Doesn't cost any MP. It just happens. It's fucking sick. That is amazing ability. Another perk she has is can use throwing items. So that's one of her things. She has throws, so she can use those throwing items if you need be. And this one part I didn't really add here, but I need to talk about is she has the ability to boost herself 50% attack and then add the fire element to her auto attacks. So that is really, really good too in a situation where you're fighting a boss who has lower fire resist. You can just turn that onto your weapon and have fire and lightning on. Or fire would be on your auto attacks. The lightning would be from your weapon if you have her TM'd out. And that just allows you to have also 50% attack boost to make you hit really, really hard. And you can also lower the fire resist with Olive if you wanted to. Now, there has to be some cons, and there aren't too many, in my opinion. You would have to be nitpicking, really, to be looking at her. Before we move into the cons, though, Olive is not a chainer. We're moving into a meta now, and you guys may want to do a little bit of, not a meta, but more of a part of the game. We're adding a new part of the game in finishers, and Randy was one of them. So, essentially, some units aren't that good at chaining. They're not used for chaining. That's not their role. So, for example, Orlando will be used for chaining, light chaining, doing lots of damage, breaking down the resist of light, and doing light chaining. However, Olive is a finisher. So what you do is you build that chain up, that multiplier up, and then Olive's just going to do that big ass attack and knock the guy down. So that's what Olive is used for. Not for chaining, but a very, very, very strong finisher with a lot of support added on. So let's look at the cons here. Bad equipment choices. Can only equip equipped a couple of things here. Hammer and gun are the only weapon choices, and then we have the other equip is kind of, equipment is a little bit lackluster. When best in slot, so when you have the Sparky on her, you have everything equipped, gonna have a hard time against lightning resist foes. It's gonna be a little rough for her, but again, that's just something that goes with everybody. I mean, everybody in the end here in a little bit, going in through the meta is gonna have a an element resist on them that would hurt them. So for example, Orlando would be bad against light resist things because he loves to have Excaliburs do light damage. Even though he does take down the light resist, as does Olive with lightning, it's still just kind of like bad to have that Aria on your weapon sometimes. But that's just nitpicking, right? So in the end, we're gonna talk about the ranking for Olive, and I'm gonna go with the best global exclusive we've had yet, and that's just an understatement. Olive is an amazing unit. I'm gonna rank her at the top tier, one of the top dealing physical damage support units in the game, up there with Noctis, dealing massive damage on top of that. A whole new meta with double hand. We're not doing dual wield, which in the arena could be a little worse. Now let's compare her to Orlando, right? Because a lot of people want to talk about that. Comparing her to Orlando isn't fair. Orlando is more of a chaining a unit that is better in the end because of the chaining aspect to him. He has a lot more uses. He can fill in a lot more roles there. He can do a lot more damage. He's a better physical damage dealing unit when you build him up. But Olive is still amazing, way up there too. A lot of good stuff going for her, so I'd rank her really damn high. So now we've reached the end of the banner review. What do you guys think? Are they worth it? Is this banner worth your lapis, your good stuff? Hell yeah! And not to mention that we've now hit the new gacha system, so when you see a 4-star base come down, it's going to be 4-star base, a gold yellow crystal. When you see a rainbow down, it's got to be 5-star base, guys, and then the blue is going to be 3-star base, but so you have a really great meta TM coming from Shine. Shine can also be used as a unit, pretty damn good, decent physical damage dealing units with Dark attached to her, and then we have Olive, who I think is going to be very, very, very good. I mean, there's not much else I can say about Olive. Just very, very good. And now we have another thing I want to discuss here before we end this. We are looking at a stage in the in FFBE right now where people are saving for Orlando, and we have the Player's Choice banner. And so what I think you guys are going to be asking yourselves is, should I spend on this banner, save for Player Choice, or spend on Orlando? And I'm going to answer that right now in a way that I can. So this banner is going to have some great TMs for you and a great physical damage finisher. So if you guys really want to invest in the attack 30%, and that's what you need, you already have good physical damage dealers, this is the banner for you. Those TMs are very future-proof. You have to be farming TMs though, okay? Moving on to the Player Choice banner. The Player Choice banner is going to be, as long as Gumi doesn't rig it, in my opinion, it's going to be mad value, right? You're going to have a really great 5-star base. You're going to have really great 4-star bases, really great 3-star bases. I'm not sure if it's just one pick from each. And so each of them are going to be very good for you. So if you're still building up a team, you need value all around in 3-star, 4-star, 5 stars. The Player Choice is the choice for you. The Orlando banner, yes, Orlando is a godsend. He's OP. He's very, very strong. He can take you anywhere. People will want to use your Orlando as a friend because they can chain with their Orlandos if they pull them. He's awesome. Although, if the banner stays the same as the JP version, it's not the best value when you're chasing a 5-star unit, right? So I think here's the order. If you already have a great team, and you have a great physical damage team, go for this banner with Olive, because you're going to get Shine's TM and it's amazing. If you're still building your team, you're working really hard to make this team come together, there are going to be great TMs and great units and great value on the Player's Choice. And if you're already going to summon and you just want Orlando, go for Orlando. He's a big daddy hitter, but the value just isn't there because you're pulling for a 5-star base. One more thing also I want to talk about is I have started a Patreon page, and essentially a Patreon page is used to, support me as a content creator. I have gone full-time. I also want to sketch out any thoughts that I'm rich or anything. I have quit my other job, but I am by no means even making as much money as I did over there. And to make this all possible, I do need help from the community. So if you check that out, you can pledge anywhere from $1 to above. I'm going to have a lot of cool things going on there that are exclusive to my Patreon. It's just not set up yet. So if you guys want to check that out and feel like helping me out with maybe $1 or more a month, check out the link below, and I'd really, really appreciate it. It'll help me keep doing what I'm doing and trying to get the best I can at it. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below which banner you're pulling on out of the 3 that are going to be coming out soon, and how much you like Olive, or if you don't like Olive, and then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys next time.